Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for October 5th, 2020. The time is now 7:09, and first item on the agenda is going to be ASD Wallem, and I'm going to hand this over to KG Dudley, and I'm going to recuse myself from this hearing. So, thank you. Oh, actually, before I do that, could I do a roll call vote, please? And Art, I could not hear you, but.
Tracy, I did a little roll call.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so let's run the roll call vote for October 5th, 2020.
KG Dudley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Art Montminy, aye.
Mark Mungum, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, now I'll recuse myself from this first hearing.
Thank you, Tracy. Yes, so we're starting with Wallem Lake, and it was the shade cutting. I just got to pull this up again. I had the So this is a public hearing, and it's still continued for ASD Wallem Massachusetts Solar. It's the shade tree cutting. We've talked about this a number of times, but we needed a quorum to close out the public hearing. And we did cover this. I'm sorry, I missed last meeting, so I didn't know how much of this we covered. When I left off, it was almost a done deal already, so I'd be interested to hear what happened at the last meeting.
I think at the last two meetings, it's just a procedurally, we didn't have a quorum to close the hearing and then issue an order of conditions.
All right then, board, for those of us present, well, actually, this is still a public hearing. Are there any comments from the public on this item? Comments, questions? Okay, all right then, board, did we have any other comments or questions on this item?
I don't have any comments or questions. I think I would just like a review of what we're looking at from the developer.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So it is shade tree cutting around the permitted solar array that should go into construction if everything proceeds here later this month. We kept the original array out of the. I can share my screen, by the way, if you guys want to see the item. Would that be good for everyone?
Go ahead and show it.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, host disabled participant screen sharing who is technically the host.
Let's see if I can give you a screen sharing abilities. Hang on.
I think you can.
I will go mad with power.
Pat, can we give screen sharing to people or no? Pat, the cable guy.
He's not on.
I will go mad with power.
I don't think we have the ability to screen share to give that.
Oh, it just came up. It just allowed. Can we give screen sharing to people or no?
There you go.
At the cable guy. This worked, and I have no idea why. I just pressed the button repeatedly because I am tech savvy. So the array is permitted in this area here, following the contours of the limit of clearing. We kept the array out of the entirely originally. We have the ability to screen share to do that. Oh, it just came up. They just allowed. Can we give screen sharing to people or no?
There you go.
At the cable guys. I have no idea why. I just pressed the button repeatedly because I am tech savvy. So the array is permitted in this area here, following the contours of the limit of clearing. We kept the array out entirely originally. We have the ability to screen share.
Someone use themselves so we don't have to
screen sharing to people or no?
There you go.
At the cable guys. I have no idea why. I just pressed the button repeatedly because I am tech savvy. So the array is permitted in this area here, following the contours of the limit of clearing. We kept the array out entirely originally. We have the ability to screen share.
I have no idea what's happening with the audio.
There you go. I have no idea why. I just pressed the button Why is it repeating over and over?
No idea what's happening with audio. Why is it over and over?
All right, I muted. You okay?
I've taken myself off mute.
How you doing? All right, everyone mute, and then Evan, why don't you just give it a try?
All right. Share screen again. Listening to yourself on a recording is the worst thing in the world. All right. Does everyone have the screen share and a single instance of me speaking? Thumbs up from everybody. Wonderful. So the array was originally permitted here in the diagonal hashed area. We kept it out of the 100-foot buffer entirely to streamline the process and because we could afford to do so. We were asking the Conservation Commission to let us selectively clear individually tagged trees in this southern buffer area. The taller trees on the outside, and then leaving increasingly taller trees as we go from red to light blue to dark blue, because those trees fit into the shade profile of the trees in the wetland, and therefore we do not need to touch them. This gives us better shading on the southern part of the array because the southern part is what where the sun comes from and gives us shading, say, a lot in this area. So we are going to replant this area with vegetation that is excellent for the wetlands, just much, much shorter. And we have another item here. We've got another landscaping plan. This one is just showing the limits of work. So nothing, we will silt fence around the 25-foot from the wetland line before we do the work, or I believe it's silt fence. It might be straw bale and wattle, but we put, there we go, proposed straw bale barrier around the entire thing. Then we will remove the selected trees as we do the rest of the clearing working in this direction for the entire construction. And then I believe we also have another limit of clearing here, like a swat or a silt fence around the 100-foot buffer. So we should have 2 layers of protection for the wetlands. Does anybody have any questions?
Still no stump removal, right?
No, yes, or no stump removal in the buffer area at all.
Okay, thank you.
So we are cutting and then leaving it to grow right back up, and the plantings we're making are to get it growing right back up with the right species that are beneficial for the property and the wetlands as well.
Right.
A lot of berries to go with our pollinator meadow in the middle.
So if there's no further questions, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So move, close the public, I move to close the public hearing.
Thank you, Art. I have a movement. Do we have that seconded?
I'll second.
All right, seconded. All in favor?
Mike,
Okay, I have an aye from
Mike is
Art.
probably still muted.
Yeah, Mike is probably still muted. And we're gonna have to.
You'll have to wave.
Mike, you're first. Mike's still muted, so. Steve, you're muted too.
Mike, you're muted. Unmute yourself, Mike. Well, give a thumbs up if you approve. Mike, can you?
Oh, good.
that count for both?
Okay.
Aye.
Art Montminy, aye.
Mark Mungum, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
All right, thank you. So then we close public hearing,
Did you vote, Katie?
and I will vote aye. So then we close the public hearing,
Issue order of conditions.
and we need to issue our order of conditions. You have one written up, right?
Not yet.
Okay. But it's basically what we said before. It's the shade, it's as proposed per the plan with no
Mhm.
stumping.
That's right.
All right, I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mike, you're on mute, Mike. Can you unmute yourself, Mike, at all? Bottom left-hand corner of the screen, it should be a little microphone that says mute.
He might have been muted by the administrator for that, whatever was called. He might not be able to unmute himself.
I was unmuting him. Try again, Mike. Everyone's unmuted. That can. All right. Pat, the cable guy, can you unmute Mike Greco at all?
Like to see one, you can go over to Medline, they have one photo. I was over there and saw it a couple of weeks ago.
Mike, can you type in the chat at all that you approve? Mike, can you nod if you can hear us? Mike, can you type in the chat at all that you approve? Do you approve the proposed project? Oh, hi, I guess these 2 thumbs up.
I'll take it.
Okay.
You want to note that, Chair, that Mike approves of thumbs up on the
Yes,
Zoom?
noted that Mike Greco approves this motion. That
Mark
our,
Mutiny, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
all right, and KG Dudley, aye. All right, great, you're approved.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
So, Evan, just procedurally, I'll finish up. We got the plan list. I'll finish up doing the order of conditions. What I've been doing is I'll send them around. I'll physically bring them to each member to get a wet stamp signature. And then once that's done, we'll certified mail them out to you if that's what you want, or you can pick them up.
That's perfect. I'm in town often enough to pick them up. You could leave them with anyone who's in the building. You just let me know who they are and I'll track them down. I'm not scared there'll be any crazy conditions on there, so I think we can let the other stuff roll.
The only one we've been adding is we either do a 53G for inspections or a 53E.5. So we can talk about that for
Perfect. Well, I'm both excited and excited to not have to spend most of my Mondays with you guys in the future. You're wonderful, but I'm
Oh,
gonna
stop.
take my Mondays back for the time being.
Yeah, we'll miss you.
You loved every minute of it.
Yeah,
I did. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your night.
Care.
good night.
Gone through what we discussed, what we see, any other concerns anyone might have.
who's that?
Who's that?
I think they've addressed everything.
That was Tracy.
That was great.
All right. So Tracy, you're back on.
She's here. I mean, if you want me to open the next item, I can.
There she is.
There we go.
Sorry. Someone muted me, the host. Okay. Next item on the agenda will be public hearing continued 23 Webster Street, Hayward Homes LLC. This was the one with the mishap with the address, so it's been re-advertised. Do we need to read that advertisement, Steve?
I think if you want to do that procedurally, but it was on the agenda wrong. It wasn't on the ad wrong.
Okay, all right, yeah, so I read the advertisement correct, but it was just on the agenda incorrect.
Right.
Okay,
And we had a comment. I think everything was fine with the plan. The only issue we had, I don't know if you can see the plan. I sent some stuff from the abutter,
yes,
and I talked to Margaret about it, and she added the abutter's name onto the current plan. So I actually had a phone conversation with the abutter, and she was concerned that people didn't realize she owned all the land to the right of this property. That's all the wetland
yes.
that at one time was being offered to the town. But I think the commission didn't think it was a lot that they wanted to pursue at the time. But regardless, I think Margaret added that note. You can see it now formally, the abutter's name on there.
Okay. Or did we have any comments on that letter? And did everyone get to read that? Anybody? No?
Sorry, I did read it. And then, so that property line is marked. It's the one that's shown on the map.
The property line that's on the this property line here.
Yeah.
Right, that's the same property line as the A&R plan.
Okay, excellent.
So board, we were just waiting for that clarification for the addresses from the last time. Does anybody else have any questions from the board on this hearing?
Is this the one where we decided not to go with the wall after all? I know Margaret had it on her plan originally, I think. Does that ring a bell?
There's a split rail fence proposed, but Margaret, if you wanted to.
Sure, I was able to eliminate a part of that wall by moving the house up forward. Originally, with the house towards the back, I needed a wall to stay out of the 50-foot buffer zone. But by moving the house up front, I was able to grade down and not use a wall in that location. I just need a small 3-foot wall by the septic.
And for the record, it's Margaret Bacon. And what is your address?
Oh, I'm sorry, Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, Douglas, Mass.
Thank you. We have a new minute taker. So we have to be
okay, sorry.
more particular. So board, do you have any other questions on this notice of intent? Art?
No.
Katie Grace?
No, I like the revisions that were made since the last meeting I attended.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Mark?
Sorry, I haven't been listening.
That's okay. Did you need to recuse yourself or leave? That's okay too.
Yes, I'm leaving.
Okay, all right. Don't worry about it.
Let me know if you need me for something else.
No, I don't believe so, but thank you very much.
All right. Thanks. Sorry.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Mike Greco, you still are muted. If anybody can help him, just wave the cursor over your picture. It says unmute. Eric?
Oh, I have no comments.
Okay. Mike, any comments? No? Okay. Steve, anything?
No.
Okay. I'll open it to the public because this is a public hearing. There was a neighbor letter. Steve, do we want to read that or it's just for our records?
I think I gave it to everybody. I don't know if I have it here.
I don't see anyone else on the call. Or anyone else raising their hand for the public. Right?
Want me to try and find it?
Nope. No.
Okay.
Everyone, the commission has seen it, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing for 23 Webster.
I move to close the public hearing for 23 Webster Street.
Seconded.
And seconded, and roll call vote.
Hey, there you go.
Okay. In order, Mike, we're still mute, so if you do a thumbs up, we'll say that you are saying aye. Okay. All right. Mike's got the signal. Aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
And Mark is not here. Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Okay. All right. So we'll entertain a motion with those conditions shown on the plan, the spurt fence and the native plantings. The latest plan, which will be provided with the date.
I'll make a motion that we issue an order of conditions on the changes that were made to the plan, on the most recent plan.
Okay, motion's been made.
Seconded.
Second. Roll call vote. Mike's gonna signify with a thumbs up. Okay, we'll just skip over Mike. Katie Grace,
KG Dudley, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Tracy
Eric
Sharp,
Harris,
Eric,
Just so, yeah, just so you know, I went alphabetically, except the chair always votes last. And then,
yeah, if I have to.
so that's
Um,
Wade.
and Mike Greco, could you do a thumbs up for us, please? Thank you. Okay. All right. So for the record, Mike's voted also. Okay. Thank you, Margaret. If you're
Thank you. Thank you.
Margaret, are you sticking around for the next
there
one?
is a
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes.
okay. So the RDA public meeting 34 Conservation Drive, William Hackett, the restoration plan. I did already read this advertisement, right, Steve?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so this was a continuation and we do have a proposed restoration. Did the board have any questions on that? Art, any questions?
No.
Katie Grace?
I didn't look at it, but I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, all right. Mike, any questions? No, okay. Eric, any questions on the restoration plan?
The plan looks good to me with the proposed plantings.
Okay, so most of us made it out to that site walk. Do we want to have the applicant or the applicant's representative give an overview of the restoration? Margaret or Bill? No? Anybody? Steve?
Margaret, are you there?
Sure, I'm here.
You want to just kind of give a
I'm
quick.
sure. Sure. Basically, the plan I prepared showed the area of disturbance. I located the trees that were cut down. You can see them as stumps, and then I also located all the large trees that were still in place, and mostly it's oak trees. So basically, my client would like to do, and there was no work really that I saw in the wetland area. It was all buffer zone disturbance. So our client would like to actually, everything within the 50-foot buffer zone, just let it naturally restore to existing conditions back to the way it was. I don't think it really serves any purpose to go back in there and do anything. There's a lot of vegetation already growing back. And then my client would like to, between the 50 and the 100-foot buffer zone, remove the remaining stumps and regrade that and seed it with natural grass species.
So board this, okay, thank you, Margaret. Board, this is an RDA, so they would like to remove the stumps. The 100 to the 50. Any thoughts on that? This is just an RDA, so. Art,
I think I'm okay with them removing the stump.
okay, Katie Grace,
I'm not. I don't think that this space should go back. I don't think the space should go back to lawn. I don't think that they should take out the stumps and put in seed grass in here.
This was just one stump, right?
No, there's several stumps. If you look at the plan, you'll see. I don't have it in front of me. I'm in my car, but there's probably about 4 or 5 or 6.
Okay.
If I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember from when we walked out there a while back.
it was pretty much cleared to the wetland.
Yeah.
So as far as the number of stumps and the protection of the wetland, so to do an anti-creep, to do, what we typically do with a notice of intent, you have to be kind of thinking of that. It was someone creating a lawn area, backyard. It's not structures, but it was, we typically like to create some sort of designation on where you're supposed to go and where you're not supposed to go. Mike, do you have any comments? I see you're not muted anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm having a lot of trouble tonight with my.
It's perfect. You're perfect.
Oh, you can even hear me.
Yeah.
No, I have no comments.
Okay. Eric?
I think I don't agree with moving the stumps. I kind of feel like that would cause more disturbance to the site already.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at between a 50-foot and 100, you got like a dozen stumps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm in my car. I didn't have it in front of me, but yeah, there's probably about, you can count them right there. So
Yeah, I changed my opinion. That's too many.
Okay,
that's fine. And Margaret, you haven't proposed any kind of plantings or a deterrent, an anti-creep deterrent, or anything supplemental, except for you're going to allow the 50 to the 0 to revegetate and the 50 to 100 as lawn, correct?
that's the plan as of right now. Yes.
Okay. So board, we really need to focus on, we allow this to be a request for determination of applicability. I think we know what that outcome is going to be, but with conditions that we need some sort of restoration, not just grass. I would also be in favor of keeping the stumps. There's got to be a machine that's going to go in there, and we have to have the limit at a certain point.
If I revisit this with my client and basically come up with maybe something a little more concrete than what I'm showing right here, would that be helpful?
For me, in my opinion, yes. I think that we can't just allow this to be take out the stumps and have grass,
Sure.
have it grow back naturally.
Right.
There was a significant amount of 0 to 50 or 0 to 25 disturbance, and we just, if someone else buys this, we don't want them to think that they could encroach so much.
Yep. Okay.
My opinion.
So are you open to keep this through the RDA process if we come up with a better plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think RDA is sufficient because there's no excavation or structures proposed, but I think that to remedy the violation of work within the 100, we need to really balance what that looks like and not just have lawn replaced. And if there's a couple of stumps that they want to pop out and have lawn, conservatively, but we can't blanket like the whole
Sure.
150
Yep.
as lawn area.
Yeah, I got it. I think we can come up with something that'd be a little more amenable.
Okay, board, do you have any other comments on this RDA? Katie Grace, you're just blinking and you're muted.
I know I'm muted. I stand by my existing comment. Is I just don't want to see something go on that wasn't lawn. And I concur. I agree that there has to be some anti-creep measure, as we put in most properties that have, a wetlands on it.
Okay. All right. Board members, do we have any other comments on this? But we'll kind of go back to until next meeting and have the applicant propose an anti-creep and something more substantial than planting grass seed.
Is this the one where we had a complaint from the abutters as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I do see, Brian Hassett versus Bill Hassett. Is the owner of the property on the call tonight? Or is that a different Hassett?
It's a Hassett, not a Hackett.
I'm not part of this one.
Okay. All right.
Part, sorry.
Just checking. Okay, so Margaret, you've pretty much, your.
I know what I got to do. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to continue this RDA to the next meeting.
So moved.
Motion been made.
Second.
Second by Mike. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Mike,
KG Dudley, aye.
Art Montverde, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Appreciate it.
Yeah, take care.
And then the next item on the agenda is a public hearing, continued St. Dennis Church earth removal. They did request a continuance.
That's right.
So, and they requested it to the next regularly scheduled meeting,
I believe so.
which is,
Quick question.
yes,
They were supposed to stake out the area that we were concerned about?
They did.
Okay, I went out for a walk. Maybe it was too soon. I went in, beyond that dumpster at the back of the cemetery proper. And I saw where it looked like an intermittent wet area that they might cross. And I went all the way in about a half mile to where they're gonna be taking the gravel out.
Yeah.
But there was nothing staked at that time.
Right, right, Art. So when you go in, and I had a double track. So when you go past that dumpster, if you go if you go 20 feet down that path, you've gone too far.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when you go where that dumpster is, you start looking for a flag, some pink flags and some stakes, because the access road almost takes a hairpin turn. So when you go in where that dumpster is into the woods, within 20 feet, it's gonna take a hairpin turn almost back to, the road almost goes behind the cemeteries up where the existing stones are.
Okay, I went straight in.
Yeah, it's a little deceiving.
Yeah, okay, I'll do it again.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's almost like you gotta climb on top. When you're there, you climb on top of the gravel knoll. That's a high point right behind you. You'll be looking over these stones to your right, and then you'll go way down into where the crossing is.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna move to continue this to 10/19.
Yes, correct. Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike Greco. Roll call vote, please.
Before I vote, I'm just gonna ask, because Art was saying he did a site walk, so we're able to do site walks?
At our leisure, yes.
Thank you. KG Dudley, aye.
Art Monmouth, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
And just for it, because it's actually a steep like descent into where the crossing's going. If you go down where you went, Art, and you kind of cross the little stream,
Yep,
take a right up and just walk up the stream.
okay.
And it'll be a nice, easy walk up the stream, and you'll eventually see some stakes.
Yeah, the river's to
So-
the left.
Any disturbance though with your feet?
What's that?
I said don't cause any disturbance with your feet.
Oh, the stream is, it's such a.
It's semi-dry.
yeah,
Are
it's
you
very-
calling Art machinery?
I'm just saying.
I've been called worse things, that's okay.
He's a light walker.
Yes, yes, soft-footed. And I'm just waiting for Eric to say aye.
Yep, aye.
And aye, so we'll move this hearing to October
Do you have
9th.
any other questions on this notice of intent?
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Here we go again.
Let's finish. Let me mute everybody.
No, I like
Right, Tracy, I am muted you.
Thank you. Okay. Next item on the agenda is going to be new business and RDA public meeting, 20 Old Carriage Lane, Patrick and Mira Shorey, possible votes. Let me just read the notice. Legal notice for a public meeting, request for determination of applicability. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for Patrick Shorey on October 5th, 2020 at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40. The proposed request for determination of applicability work location is 20 Old Carriage Lane, and the applicant is requesting permission to add an above ground pool, deck, and Four Seasons porch. We are not using the,
Yep, just so you know, he did use it. There was a little mix up on the tear sheet on how it was the second part that has the COVID part. So
Okay.
it was already, by the time we caught it, because he sent me the ad, and he said that he did send the one. I sent him the correct one. He did send that to the T&G. It just happened.
okay,
So it was no fault of his. Instead of paying for it twice.
Mhm. Okay, so let's just see.
I'll bring the
So
plan.
this is buffer to an above ground pool.
Yeah, he would have been exempt if the house wasn't built before 96. So let me bring up the application.
On exempt buffer zone activities,
Right.
lawn to an above ground pool.
Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, the exempt activities, and then he was putting a deck around it too. Let me unmute. Can everyone see that? Let me unmute.
There's already a deck there.
Gonna be a bigger deck.
Looks like, yeah.
It's gonna be more deck and bigger deck.
Let me bring up the pictures.
Yeah, and if you want, I can certainly explain it. It's Patrick here.
Thank you. One moment. So the house was built after August 7th, 1996.
It was.
Okay.
Let's see here. I got a short video here. Can everyone see the video?
Yes.
Yep.
So it's pretty much going right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's about it. So originally this property was had an order of conditions for the house. It came in. I think the commission signed up on a certificate of compliance for it before this gentleman purchased it about a year or so ago.
Mm-hmm. So Patrick, if you'd like to take us through the process on if there's a machine coming in and the material and just how you're building, like as far as the earthwork, that'd be great.
Yeah, so for the most part, the area that we're looking to put it in is basically flat, maybe about an inch or so needed for leveling. We tried to go up as high as we could to reduce any kind of grading that was needed. The plan, again, as Steve had showed, is to kind of put a pool over where you see that smoker right now. We do want to build a round deck around it for two purposes. One, for easy access at the same level of the pool since it is above ground. And two, we do want to put extra fencing around it just to prevent anybody getting into the pool unauthorized. And then the current deck that's there is what we eventually want to turn into the Four Seasons porch. I don't believe that falls under anything because it is out of any buffer zone, but I just wanted to include it on here anyways.
Thank you. Okay, board, I think this is very straightforward. Art, do you have any questions?
No, I was looking at the pictures there and it looked to me like it wasn't level, but he's talking about doing a slight correction in the grade, so we'll probably be okay there.
Okay. Katie Grace?
Yeah, I don't feel strongly about this one way or the other.
Do you think that it negatively would impact the resource area?
I mean, only if it fell apart.
We're at the RDA. We're at the RDA level.
Yeah, it could probably be an RDA.
Okay. That's what's filed. So
That's fine.
okay. So if it fell apart, though, it probably would contribute to the water source.
That's my feeling towards like pools in general, is that I'm always nervous that they're going to fall apart and you're going to end up with chlorine in the resource area.
Okay. All right. We hope that this new pool will not collapsing.
Well, 'cause you put in pools and it's like for the solar farms and for I assume wind farms, you know, we require a decommissioning plan. We don't require decommissioning plans for swimming pools, and like maybe we should, but I understand that we're not going to come to that resolution here and now.
Right, okay. Noted. Eric,
No comments.
Mike,
Comments.
okay. So I think this is reasonable for an RDA. I don't think that there is any negative impact to the resource area, being the distance as well as the nature of the project. So I'll entertain a motion to decide on this for a negative determination.
Yeah, I move for, that we issue a negative determination for this RDA at 20 Old Carriage Lane.
I'll second
With
it.
no stock.
Oops.
Yeah, I just want to, in addition to our conditions on no stockpiling in the 100, just in case we get a little bit closer to that backside there.
Sounds good.
A motion been made and seconded by Katie Grace. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Mike Greco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Art Mini, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Don't need
Eric
to-
Harris, aye.
Don't need
Thank
to
you.
swing Jerry anymore.
What?
Hey, it took a while, but we got it down to a science now.
It was over under.
Patrick,
5 was the
Good
over
luck.
under. So you're all set, Patrick. So negative is good. It's like going to the doctor.
Works for me. Thank you very much, everyone.
thank you. Okay, the next 7 PM RDA public meeting, 37 Glen Street, CCAP LLC, no legal notice was placed. Do we want to double check that, or do you know for sure?
Brian?
No, I know for sure. It wasn't. Yeah, a little mix up. I thought that I was going to get like an email for when it was going to be, when the meeting was going to be, because I just wasn't sure. I was going to put the date in there too. And yeah, I don't know why I was expecting that.
Well,
But
you can put it for October 19th,
yeah,
7 PM.
Please change the date though. Brian,
what's that?
please change the date. If you put the date in for today, please make sure that it's correct in the ad.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, it hasn't. I didn't bother placing it late. Once
Okay.
I knew it was too late, I knew it was kind of too late. So I was hoping we maybe be able to discuss it tonight. Obviously, I know
No.
no votes. You know.
So yeah, Brian, just send me a copy. Make sure, just send me a copy for tomorrow or the next day of the ad you're using. I want to just make sure you are using the correct ad that we've updated.
Okay. Oh, the one with the that would need to have the Zoom information on it, correct?
Yeah, there's a couple of them going around. I just want to make sure you got the correct one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so Steve, we're good on to move on to discussion.
Sure.
Okay.
I think Mrs. Brown is here, so if you want.
Okay, great. So board, next item on the agenda under discussion is request for a certificate of compliance, Robert and Kathleen Brown, 49 Pine Street. You have the as-built plan.
Yep.
I'm just waiting for the board members to take a look at that. And we have a little video.
I think more just photos. There's such a
Okay,
words.
photos. Steve.
Oh. Hang on. Can you see the photos?
Yes.
So this is the driveway coming in. And there's wetlands to the right. I think I'm outside the 100-foot buffer right now. There's a little area that might clip the 100-foot in as you're coming down the driveway. And then most of the looking at the plan. Whoops, sorry. What happened there? Oh, I just had a little mishap. Hang on. Most of the 100-foot is around the back of the house. This is the back of the house. And then I don't think Margaret's here, but I think it looks like it's according to the plan that was done. I think this was done 3 or 4 years ago. And it was approved. Looks like, there's not much grading, as you come to the side of the house, it just drops right off. I think it's according to the plan, there's plenty of vegetation. So this is as you're coming into the front, looking to the front of the house, get wood chips around here. It's all ferns and.
Looks like
I
a
didn't
pretty steep drop off there.
It's pretty steep as you come up. It's pretty steep, yes, right around the left-hand side. It flattens out. They have a little bit of lawn, and then they just kind of left it all undisturbed as you go around the backside of the property. I didn't see anything outside the unusual as I was walking around.
Okay, board, any other questions on this as-built plan? So we have an as-built, we have the proper documents, right, Bill? Right, Steve?
We do.
So I'll entertain a motion to issue the certificate of compliance.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, second, roll call vote.
Mike Greco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Tracy.
Tracy Sharkey, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, next on the agenda is request for a certificate of compliance, 179 Wallace Street. Steve, do you want to give us a little overview on this one?
So this is down by Wallem Lake. Let's see.
What do you mean, Whiting's Reservoir?
Whiting's Reservoir. So
That is a very different place.
I was like, I don't remember this street, Pine Street. I mean,
Wallace Street.
Wallace Street.
yeah, so
No,
this
it's a very reservoir-y place.
reservoir. Let's see if I let me see if I can bring the pictures up.
This is the area where we went to look at the old mansion there, right?
No. This is
Other side.
Oh, the
So-
other side?
if you're coming from this, I can bring up if you're coming from the center of town, you pass the water slides on your left.
Yeah.
You come to a 4-way intersection.
Yeah.
You take a left, like you're going to the causeway.
Oh,
And then this is down on the left, one of the side camps before you get to the causeway.
So why isn't it overlaid on the original?
So I asked him a few times, I guess his engineer was having a hard time overlaying it, Mike Murphy. So he actually submitted this last August, and I asked him for the overlay, and then he resubmitted it again. And so I said, I'll bring it up in front of the commission, but they have the 2 plans, but they typically want them overlaid on top of each other. So we can certainly ask for that. For the
So
next
do you
meeting.
have the original plan by any chance handy?
I don't have it handy.
Okay. So, and then we have a foundation drain showing discharging near the res.
I saw that.
It goes all the way to the property line. Do you think that's true?
I don't know. I don't think, because when I was out there, I didn't see any disturbance because of the trees and stuff. So I'm not sure where he got that from. So I would question them on that.
So is anybody, no one's here for that though, right?
They didn't show up either, so I can certainly put this
I
on.
would, so we need either the original plan, we need the overlay in an actual, I don't think that the foundation drain is actually extending like the plan.
Well, I didn't see them because I was out there quite a few, almost weekly, and I didn't see them digging.
Doesn't
Unless
really make sense, so, let's pass over this.
Okay, I agree.
Anyone else have any objection on that?
Was
Just
any
pass over. It's been a while. I mean, it looks like it's stabilized and everything and well established.
They did a nice job with it. It would be just getting the overlay as built, make sure that they're not off by 50 feet or which they're not. I mean, because plus it was a ZBA variance, so I know that they pinned the foundation when they did it to comply with.
Yeah, so we should have an as-built plan overlaid on the proposed. Let's just hold off on that one.
Take this up on the 19th.
Okay.
Yes, please, yeah. Next item would be request for certificate of compliance, Walnut Street Developers, 115 Walnut. We need an as-built plan, so we'll pass over on that one also.
Right.
Okay.
And I did email Andrews about that, Byron, a few weeks ago. I haven't heard back from him.
Good. Next item, request for an extension of order of conditions, 69 Woodland Road, lot number 21.
Yes.
I see, who do I see? Jack's here.
Jack Nealon.
Steve, do you want to just give a backstory on that?
Yeah, let's see. So I sent an email out. One of the abutters was questioning this. Let's see if I can pull it.
Wasn't there a letter on this one?
What do you mean by a letter?
Didn't somebody send in a letter to the to you, I think?
Yeah, an email. Let's see if I can.
An email, and you forwarded it to us?
I did. Yeah, I can bring that up. So let me see if I can just bring that up. Is that coming up?
Not yet. There you go.
Okay, so let's see here. So originally, Jack, let's see, Jack, let's see if I can come back here. So Jack was looking, Jack, are you there? You want to give what your request is before I get into this?
Yeah, sure. So we are just making a formal request to extend the order of conditions on lot 21. I had called to give it a call to actually Alan over there.
You're breaking up.
Conditions to expire. So he said that we could make a formal request for an extension and have it granted pursuant to the bill, which it's at the bottom of that email. And basically it just says that during the state of emergency of COVID, no order of conditions shall lapse until the state of emergency is lifted, which it has not been lifted yet.
So just to update the commission, so I did some research here. One of the neighbors had some questions about it. So basically it looks like there was, this lot has had a couple, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Jack. There was 2 approvals originally on this lot. One was under DEP 143732 back in 2006. And then the second one was under this current one, 143-932 from 2017. The original one looks like they got some extensions and then it lapsed. And so the order of conditions expired and they never did any work. And so what they did is they came back and they refiled pretty much for almost the same amount of work what was approved back in 2006. They refiled in 2017 in May. They got the order of conditions in June. It was signed off on June 5th of 2017. It was good for 3 years. So it was pretty much would have expired June 5th, 2020. But under the, and they didn't ask for a request for certificate of compliance, on their end prior to it expiring. But according to Jack and the information he submitted, because of the COVID, that automatically is still active because those orders don't expire under this order from the governor. Is that correct, Jack?
Yeah, that's correct. And the bill's right at the bottom of that email. It just doesn't allow permits or order of conditions to lapse until the state of emergency is lifted, just due to the inability to actually complete work on certain projects.
And so under that, I forwarded, just for transparency, openness to the abutter that had some issues with it. And I think I forwarded that to the commission. And she also had a couple more emails, maybe I think today, regarding how she doesn't think this should be extended. So that's the history that I have.
Okay, so I think there is a tolling period that the order does not expire during this time. I'm not sure if the emergency order, it was lifted, I thought. But since this is the first request for an extension, I would be in favor of the 3-year extension. I think that's well within our purview of duties that we can give 1, 2, or 3. Even though he's asking after the expiration, but there was a tolling period of freeze on his permit. So it's up to the board. Art.
Yeah, my understanding of this, of the law is that it won't expire because of the COVID stuff, because I think without that, this would have expired. But in this case, from what I understand about the law, I think I think Jack's right that they can get an extension here. That's my reading of it.
Sound good.
What was that, Mike?
Yeah, sounds like it. Looks like it would be permissible.
Okay, yeah, I believe it's still a tolling period for all the months where there was state of emergency. So there is a tolling period that would be added on to that June 5th date. So Katie Grace, question?
I don't have any questions. This makes sense to me. And like you're saying, this is a first request for an extension, so I don't think this is a big deal.
Okay.
Are we still talking the 3-year?
I would suggest a 3-year. That's the max that we can give, and it gives them plenty of time to do what they need to do to complete the project.
Okay. All right.
Instead of coming back 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Eric?
I agree. Yep.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to continue or an extension of this order condition 69 Woodland Road Lot 21.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to extend the order of conditions for 3 years for 69 Woodland Road, Lot 21.
Motion's been made.
I'll second that.
Second, Katie Grace. Roll call vote, please.
Mike Greco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Gracie Sharkey, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Jack, you're all set.
You have a good night.
Thank you.
The next item is the Whitens Heights Conservation Land Deed Acceptance, possible votes. If you want to just give us an update on that.
Yeah, so, it turns out that, through the planning board's approval of that subdivision that, they need to, in order to get a couple extra lots, the more lots, they can get it some extra bonus lots if they gifted over some open space to the Conservation Commission. I think we went over this in the summer a little bit. So we had the plan drawn up finally with the 5 acres. The deeds are supposedly in front of town council to review it, which I think they pretty much are almost final with. They did a title search. I gave them some documentation that was submitted from Copeland Page years ago on the procedures of gifting land, which I sent that to town council, legal counsel, the applicants and council. But we're just waiting for some final approvals from, on our end, from town council that, you know, everything looks good. I'm not sure what this holdup is. Ultimately, the deed and the land can't get owned by the Conservation Commission because we're not a municipal entity. It has to be signed off by the selectmen. So I suggested they go to the selectmen first. And then if the selectmen sign the deeds, then the Conservation Commission would be the ones that also would sign that they accept ownership of controlling the land. And we're just waiting for the lawyers just to finish the documentation.
So I would suggest that the board executes that document once the town council has approved that to move this along.
Sure. Yeah.
So whenever that is released from town council board, we're just going to circulate that document for us to sign. Okay.
That sounds lovely.
Okay.
Steve, you'll be on top of that.
I will.
Whenever that is approved, please
We're around.
send that around for us to sign.
Okay, thank you.
Dock repair policy, possible votes, inquiry that's 86 Peters Cove Road repairing their dock. Do you want to give us a background on that?
Did I send everyone's photos of this?
Yeah, they're in the Google Drive.
Yeah, they're in the Google Drive. So, you know, I don't know. One of the neighbors was asking about the other neighbor, or someone was working on his dock and wondering if they had permits to do so. You know, I know the commission typically on new docks, new installation, it asks for RDAs and stuff, but you know, with ice outs and everything else, people bringing their docks that have previously been approved in and out of the water, or they repair them. I showed some photos of the repairs they did. There's one that's almost identical, an old one, you know, in one of the photos, and then the one that they did repairs on during and then after. You know, they officially sent me the email and he followed up with it. So I said I'd bring it in front of the commission. I'm not sure what the commission's take on this would be. I mean, typically, I don't think we usually have people come in for repairs.
What is our actual dock repair policy if we have one?
We don't have one.
We don't have one. Okay.
Yeah, I would say this is out of our purview for existing docks, maintenance, repair.
Is this something for the building permit, folks?
No.
No.
That being said, if the dock involved any like land removal or alteration, we would definitely weigh in. Like if this was like they were digging anchor points or putting sonotubes in or like something of that nature.
Expanding the dock, the existing dock, not just, you know, repairing the top of the dock.
Because when I saw a dock repair, like that's for me, you know, for something that would be in front of the commission, I would expect something that would involve digging.
Yes. And Steve, there's no excavation. It's the existing dock that they're.
And this is floating. This is floating on
floaty thing.
55-gallon drums, I believe.
Yeah. I thought this was going to include something like removing shade trees or, you know.
Put it.
I mean, technically, it's shady.
I don't know how I could put this gingerly. It's a couple of butters.
Right. So I would say that it's the activity is not within the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission.
Okay, so we don't have to take any action then.
You want to be silent? I just want to bring it up that we had the complaint and that, you know, when it comes, you know.
It'll be in the minutes.
Take it case by case, I suppose. I agree with Katie wholeheartedly if they're out there putting sonotubes in.
I'm glad we looked at it, but now I looked at it and now I'm saying, yeah, this isn't something that we would need to weigh in on.
And now I have an idea of, you know, if this comes up again, I can kind of make a judgment call. I use, you know.
You can always just put it on under discussion anyway.
Okay, I don't mind doing that.
Record. Okay.
Next, the pictures of stuff.
Next item is the E&F for the Blackstone Logistics Center. So that's an FYI, it's coming down the pike.
Yeah, it wasn't on enough.
Maybe talk about-
Yeah, I got a minute from last meeting. I think I sent that to everybody, and there's a Google Drive just specifically for that. It's just information. You know, when anything comes down the pike, I'll just add to the Google Drive and people are interested. I don't know if people know where this is. This is as you pass, is it the Shell gas station?
Yeah.
As you go past the Shell, you go past 146. You don't take a left onto the, if you're going into Northbridge, it's the next lot on the left, that area.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of small parcels over there that Douglas has some land on the other side of 146.
So it's not the same side as the Mumford,
No.
upland, a bit.
It's to the left. As you're leaving town,
Yeah.
it's on the left.
Yeah.
I read the proposed plan though, and it sounds like they might want to get their water supply from the town.
Oh, yeah, that's a possibility.
Either us or the Whitensville Water Company, I think.
Yeah. That's an awkward area. I knew somebody who lived around there, and their like address was in Sutton, and their phone line was from Uxbridge, and their water was from Northbridge. Like that whole area is awkward.
You're right. There's 3 or 4 boundaries there.
Yeah.
So it was just an FYI.
No.
Okay, so do we want to approve the meeting minutes, or do we want to pass on those?
I got a lot of issues with them, actually. I don't know if you want to go over them.
Yeah, let's go over them.
They're really technical issues more than anything. And I know we got a new minute keeper on the second group.
Would you be able to send those technical items to Steve's email, and then we can take that up at the next meeting?
I probably could.
I think that would probably be best to get them a little bit better and then discuss the issues.
I'll put my notations in a Word document, Steve, and send it off to you.
Okay.
Okay.
For both the 824 and the
914.
yeah.
Yeah, I did them both.
Okay. So we'll just hold off. We'll pass over those meeting minutes till next meeting. And Steve, do you have anything else?
I don't.
Okay. Board members, do we have anything else? Any questions, comments that we wanted to bring up?
I wanted to ask if what do we end up getting you a new laptop, Steve? What do we do with that?
Yeah,
No, not yet.
Yeah, I think we should have. It was a big mistake, but
Why didn't we?
I don't know. I think it
We
was.
said yes.
I know the
We
budget.
said yes, but what happened?
The budget and stuff. I think we're being proactive. Not yet. Maybe I'll look into it when there's some deals come on for the holidays.
Could you talk with Cable, whoever you were gonna talk with, and get the actual model that you should be getting and get a quote for us for next meeting?
Sure.
I think that's what we talked about, consulting the IT department on what you should be getting for RAM and all that jazz.
Okay.
And
Also, we talked about last time about having Tracy sign on our behalf. Did that change, or what's going on with that one now?
What is going on?
I think so we have to physically sign. I can sign the vouchers, but what I would suggest is doing the electronic signatures.
Okay.
And I know Steve likes to travel around, but I can do the Adobe sign on these documents that we've just approved. And I think now we definitely know that the electronic signatures are accepted at the registry. We have the document.
So Tracy can sign on your behalf for non-order items.
RDAs and
Right, for the orders, you still need 4 signatures at least, but they can be electronic. So we still have to pass them around to everybody, sign them electronically or wet stamp.
Okay.
You just can't have Tracy sign it on your behalf. They won't accept that. But anything else, a voucher or anything less critical, Tracy, you can give her permission, you can vote on it and she can just sign it.
So I would suggest, Steve, if we could try it out again to Adobe sign those couple of items, and then if that doesn't work, then we'll revisit it on the 10/19.
Okay.
Is that good for you, board? Just
Sounds good.
so probably within the next week, just double check, and I'll do it in any order, so nobody's waiting for anything. I figured that out. So. Okay,
Sounds good.
all
Nice-
right,
Nice quick meeting.
all
Yep.
right, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made, seconded by Mike, roll call vote.
Mike Greco, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Art Monmany, aye.
It's such a dork. Tracy Sharkey, aye.
That's in the
Eric Harris.
minutes. That's in the minutes about being a dork.
No, strike that.
Oh, strike that. Okay.
That's okay.
You don't know who I was talking
Okay.
about.
No, I
I've been
don't.
called- I've been called worse.
Okay. Have a good
Okay,
night,
good night.
everybody.
Bye, guys.